Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Bad Batch reaction for episode 4. Okay, we gotta go and check the episode title because last time we had some funky stuff. This time, I think we're alright. Okay, episode 4, Cornered. The Batch's supply run goes awry. Okay. So there were some fake leaks that made their way around about the episode title and the description for today, and we can see that that was clearly not true. There may have been multiples floating out there. I'm sure we're going to continue to see that kind of thing as we move forward through this show. But I'm kind of happy. They were really pushing for another cameo. Felt like potentially Rex was going to be in the show this week based on the leaks that I had seen. So I'm kind of happy that this seems very different. Because honestly, at this point in this show, they have given me everything that I've wanted. At least everything that I've asked for. And now I think that they can do really whatever they want. You know, at the end of last week, I felt very, very satisfied in the fact that everything that I needed for the show moving forward was kind of established and set, and now you can really do whatever you want from here on out. So I'm totally fine with not getting another one of these big cameos. We can actually hold that off for a little bit if we want to. At least the Captain Rex cameo. We can put that off for a bit, and I'm totally fine with that. Fennec Shand and how she's going to work out in the story, that's something I'm really interested in seeing. Are there going to be other clone commanders in the show as well? Very interested to know that, but I'm not rushing it. Tell it to me organically, and that's totally fine. This is the first week that I'm going into this thing with absolutely zero sort of expectation. This show has just done a very good job of giving me everything that I've needed moving forward, that they really truly can do whatever they want at this point. So I don't really have too much to say at the beginning of this episode. We could go back and recap the series up until now, and there's tons of things that I want to see more of, but really, I'm just interested and curious to what this show still is, because we're still at a point where we don't totally know. We don't totally know where this show is going or what it's doing. We have a very, very small premise. And they've done a good job over the last 3 episodes setting that up. But now let's see what the actual function of the week to week of the show is. It's one of those things like Clone Wars where after a few episodes you started to understand, okay, I see how this show functions. I see the rhythm and the routine that the show is in. Really, any show does that. After a while, after at least a 3 episode arc up front, then they kind of get to this point of like, okay, I see what this show is. I see how you guys are organizing it. I understand what you're trying to do with this show. And I'd really like to reach that with the Bad Batch. I think that this week's episode might really set us up for, okay, here's what to expect for the rest of the season. Here's what to expect for future seasons. This is sort of the format and the style that we're working with. I'm excited. I feel like we can finally kind of dive into that aspect of this show now. So honestly, like I said, I could go back and recap everything that's happened, but I don't totally think that it's necessary because I'm kind of coming into this one fresh. There are some things like the, clone troopers versus stormtroopers that was just so interesting. How much is Tarkin going to be involved? When will Crosshair rejoin the Bad Batch? And what's going on with Omega? I think that those are the biggest questions that I have right now, as well as what the Kaminoans are up to and how they fit into this whole situation. Obviously, would love to see Vader, would love to see Palpatine, Captain Rex, Commander Cody, all these characters I would love to see. Any, a return of Canon, of course I would love to see these things. But I'm not asking for them. They are where they are. If we get to them, we get to them. If we don't, we don't. I am very open to seeing what the show has to offer for us this week. So I don't want to do any more talking. I just want to dive right into this bad boy. And we'll kind of talk more about everything that we learn and we figure out in this and all of the future hopes and expectations at the end of this episode. But like I said, I've been thrilled with this show, so please, just give me more. Give me more. Ugh, it's so early. I'm so tired. Can you tell I'm tired? I don't even know when this video is going to come out. Okay, here it is, guys. Episode 4 of The Bad Batch, Cornered. here we go. All systems firing. There we go. Disney Plus. This is the first week I'm not going to actually comment on this intro, but I technically didn't I? Oh, the Bad Batch. Cornered. Here we go. What do you got for me this week? All right, we're not in hyperspace. Oh man, no food. Pantora. I thought she was gonna Grogu for a minute and like start pushing some buttons. All right, boys, here we go. Nice little spaceport there. Very Star Wars looking. Why'd you tell me we're out of rations? Now I'm starving. Gotta pay the man, Wrecker. Yeah, this guy cannot be trusted. No way. Look at that ship. Yo! There we go. Ha, Ming-Na, what's up? Oh, it's so good to have you in this show. This is awesome. I love that ship. Oh, I hope that thing didn't eat it like the Razor Crest in the Mando. Like, I hope we get to see that thing live action. That looks sick. It is true. I thought he was a droid when he first walked up. Oh, our Gonk friend. He's still here. I love him. Gonky? I believe his name is Gonky. I love it. I love that. Oof. Man, I said I wasn't going to talk too much more about how beautiful this show is, but just like, look at that depth of field. Look at how beautiful that looks. The colors. Oh, man. Troopers inbound. Invalid currents. Okay, Republic credits, no good. Imperial credits are the hot new thing. Yeah, maybe sell him and then he just runs away, huh? Oh, look at those little cuties. Oh, they're so creepy and cute. Look, they're from Resistance, right? Was that the first time we've seen those? Uh-oh. Fennec's coming for you, Omega. You better be smart. This kid is a liability. Man, does she cause some problems every episode. Poodoo. Oh, don't trust her. Don't trust her. She's a bad guy. She's a bad guy right now. She can help little Grogu later, but for right now, I don't trust her. Clone Trooper doll available at Galaxy's Edge. I hope. I know they got Stormtrooper ones, but Clone Trooper one would be sweet. That would be interesting. I want her to be a good guy. I want her to be an anti-hero, but I don't think we're getting that, man. Uh-oh. Something's up. He knows something's up here. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. Hey, he kind of does. There he is. Oh, thank God. Uh-oh. Fennec's here. Let's see. Let's see how Fennec does against Wrecker. Absolutely tooled on him. Oh man, she's high up. This place is a little mini Coruscant, isn't it? Really getting a lot of those episode 2 Zam Wessel chase through the streets kind of vibe. Look at that little guy. Oh my god, he's the cutest droid I've ever seen. Wow, I love that design. The little chunky legs and the little stubby arms and that's freaking cute. Oh yeah, sorry pal. Gotta take your bike. What is her deal, man? Oh, Popo. They're on it. Is that the same guy? Is he chasing after his bike? Oh, man. Oh, yeah. She don't got it. Sheesh. She ain't playing around, man. Fennec's here to kill. You got her. There we go. Aha, the explosive. Okay. Okay. Oh, I love that droid even more. Oh my god. He's so cute. Oh, that's adorable. Oh man. This ain't gonna end well for you. Oh, maybe it does. Who are you working for, Fennec? Who are you working for? Ah! Alright, so a pretty solid episode. I would not say that it was my favorite by any stretch of the imagination, but that's not saying that it was bad. Definitely not a bad episode. It was just very actiony. I am not the best with just straight action stuff. Like, that was fun. Do not get me wrong. That was fun. Reminded me very much of episode 2 in the chase through Coruscant with Zam Wessel. But it just, you know, there's not a lot of meat and bones and substance, especially from a Canon collector perspective of somebody who's looking for answers and reasonings and history and where things could link up to future storytelling. So this really didn't give me a whole lot other than just introducing Fennec to this series, showing us what she was up to, you know, before we meet her in The Mandalorian. And yeah, really all we got is that she is a bounty hunter, or we're just assuming that she is a bounty hunter and she's working for somebody trying to locate Omega. She definitely, the way that they played her in this episode, was that she's not a complete villain, that she is an anti-hero, that she does have a heart, she does care a little bit for Omega, so it would be interesting to see who she's actually working for. And that's probably that. We could probably spend an hour trying to figure out who she's actually working for. One would maybe assume that she's working for the Empire, but I don't actually know if that's the case. And then my only other idea would be that maybe she's working for the Kaminoans, but at the same time, they really wanted the Bad Batch and Omega to escape. They wanted them to escape Kamino. And I know that we've been talking about having, you know, a new sample for, you know, whatever the Kaminoans are working on now for this like new breed of clone, but I don't know if they would go track her down again, or maybe they realize that they made a mistake and that they do need Omega back. I don't know what the play is. I don't know how that works. So I really don't know who Fennec might be working for at this point. Because, like, it wouldn't make sense if it was Boba, I don't think. Right? Like, he's still kind of a kid at this point. Why would he want Omega? Why would it make sense for him to have Omega? But I can see some threads between Boba wanting to know more about the existence of Omega and what that is. I think that there's more. I think they're more closely related than we might think at this point. From the standpoint of, kind of seems like maybe she's an unaltered female version of Jango, so he might view her like a sister. I don't know how any of that. Obviously, there's still so much to unfold with the whole Omega story. So, who knows where that's going? So I really am at a loss for who it might be that wants Omega. There is, there's something else going on here. There's something else at work here. So, other than that, I really don't feel like we got much in this episode. Again, not to say that it was bad, because it wasn't. And it definitely wasn't my favorite, but it was another episode, and it's going to slot in, I feel like, really well into the overall series. Just not today. Just didn't do anything. But like I said, again, I'm not mad, because they've given me everything that I've wanted. Now we're setting up a new layer to that. From that aspect, it still is doing good things. It's not like this was a waste of an episode. We're still setting up a lot more things for the future. We just didn't get a lot of exposition or any of the stuff that I normally really crave and chew on for a week at a time. So not a whole lot going on here, but again, like I said, I wasn't asking for a lot. This was fun. This was good. So that's all I needed. That's all we need. I don't need anything super crazy at this point. So that was perfect for what it was. Next week we can get into something else, and maybe next week we have a little more of a juicy something or other. But we did get a cameo in this. We did get Fennec introduced into this show. So I'm happy. Like, it, again, has ticked the box. It may not be my favorite, and it may not be a mind-blowing sort of canon episode, but it moves the series along again. And that's all I'm looking for in these shows, because that was my one complaint of The Mandalorian, and I just don't, and I think that they've learned from that. The Mandalorian and Season 7 of The Clone Wars. Season 7 of The Clone Wars really gets a pass because of the ending of that series and the introduction of the Bad Batch to a certain degree. But there is, like, just all the middle parts of that season are just like, why are we here? What are we doing? So this is really showing me that they understand. They're doing things a little differently. It's not a carbon copy of the Clone Wars. This is a story that is going to advance week by week and not arc by arc, because that's how I felt with the Clone Wars, that it was more overall arc based versus episode by episode, which isn't terrible, but it does change the pacing big time. It changed the pacing drastically. Clone Wars Season 7, and all of the Clone Wars really, is a very slow, methodical show. And sometimes that works really well when you look at some of the great arcs of that show, but it doesn't always work. Doesn't always work well, as we saw with, the middle arc of Season 7. A great episode. Totally loved it. Definitely want to watch it in context with everything else, and can't wait to see where Fennec is going. Like I said, we didn't get a lot of other things. There's not a lot of movement on Crosshair or the bad guys. We were back to the Bad Batch, and we really didn't get a lot of character development on the Bad Batch themselves. Just some fun. It was more of a fun episode, I feel like, and introducing Fennec to set up some future sort of stuff with hunting down Omega and kind of being on the run. So I think, again, they've advanced the plot forward. We didn't really get a lot with anything else, but because we've checked so many boxes at this point that I'm feeling pretty confident moving forward. So not a whole lot to say about this episode, but I did enjoy it. And I hope that you guys did too, because I think something fun was kind of needed at this point. We've had a lot of hefty, weighty stuff going on, so a little fun episode was good. I liked being back with the Bad Batch fully, not split up between kind of the Empire and them. So this was nice to just get back to the crew. Next week, though, maybe let's see a little more of the bad guys and what they got going on there. And if we want to flip-flop every week back and forth between a very Bad Batch-centric episode to being split with our, our villains, that's cool. I like that. I can get behind that. Very interested, again, to see all of the other things that we were talking about, like the clone troopers were stormtroopers. We started to see some more imagery in this episode that was really portraying, Clone Wars marching through the streets, being cheered for. Some things that we've seen in other media with stormtroopers, but not necessarily in the same way, as so cheery as it was in this, a little more downtrodden and negative. So it's just very interesting that we're starting to see a lot of these stormtrooper and Imperial images start to happen in this time frame of the prequels. So we're seeing the crossover, we're seeing the switch. It's going to be interesting in this show to find when the switch actually happens. And I do hope that the show goes into multiple seasons so that we can start to slowly see that. And there might be, if this was going to go 4 seasons, something like Rebels did, then right at the middle point, season 2, we start to see that crossover. Season 3 and 4, we start to see more and more stormtroopers, where it's way more stormtrooper based than it is clone based. So that could be interesting. Tons of stuff to dig into from the previous weeks, and not a lot to dig into with what we got from this week. But again, that is not a bad thing. I really think that is a good thing. The show is doing really well. I'm encouraging them, and I'm really excited to see what we get next week. And if we get another episode like this next week, I'm, again, not going to be mad. I think that the finale of the show will really be telling. How are they going to wrap up the show? Where are we going with a lot of these arcs? And I'm sure we're going to be learning a bunch of little things along the way. So, again, not very mad. I would not consider this filler at all. And that's one of these things with the conversations with Star Wars television lately, is that you just have to keep worrying about people calling certain things filler when maybe they're not. And this definitely is not filler. And I can't see how you would even begin to call it filler, but maybe because there wasn't anything super huge that happened, any huge, Captain Rex didn't show up, so obviously it's filler. No, we got Fennec Shand in this. That was awesome. We're moving the plot along by showing that she is now also after Omega, which puts more weight and validity on everything else that we've theorized up until this point about Omega, which just says she is special. She is special. There is some reason that people are after her. So, I totally think that this episode was worthwhile, was totally necessary moving forward, and we'll see kind of where it slots into the rest of everything else. So, very excited, again, to get more of the Bad Batch. Can't wait for next week. Can't wait to be able to put this out on the internet whenever this hits for you guys. But please make sure to comment below and let me know what you guys thought of this episode. In particularly, do you think that this episode was filler or not? That's really what I'm interested in hearing from you. And don't just give me the yes or no. Give me a little explanation. Why do you feel like it's filler? Because I do want to acknowledge the fact that some people might feel a little bored with an episode like this. So if you do feel like it's filler, or if there is ever filler in this show, let me know in the comments and tell me why. Give me a little explanation on why you feel like this was filler, and, what other episodes weren't filler, what you want to see more of versus something like this, because I think that this episode was not filler, and I continue on my theory and my statement that there is no filler in the Bad Batch. I do not think there will be any filler in the Bad Batch, but we'll see. So if you think that this week's episode was filler, let me know in the comments below. And how do you think they could have fixed it? What could we have done differently this week that would have made it not filler for you? So that is our question for this week. Like I said, make sure to comment below and let us know. As well, make sure to click the like button on this video if you liked this reaction and review, and make sure to subscribe to our channel. Not only does it help the channel grow and get our videos out to more people, but it also lets you know when we post new content here on YouTube. We are going to be doing all of the reactions for the Bad Batch every Friday. we're going to be sitting down to record the Bad Batch reactions. So those are going up every week, but we also have plot summaries coming out for you. The next Clone Wars, the first Clone Wars plot summary will be coming out at the beginning of next week, so please make sure to stay tuned for that. We still have some Jedi Fallen Order business to do and to take care of. We got to get through that because I got other games on the docket, man, that I'm trying to play. So live streams are coming back in a big way, and we're also going to be doing just a lot more discussions. You know, there are some High Republic things in the works. There's some other Star Wars media coming out, so I'm very excited to be able to kind of dive into all of that and review that for you guys in spoiled formats and in spoiled without spoiler formats. And we're also trying to do just more live streams in general here, having a conversation with all of you guys in the community. We want to thank everybody for all of the love and support on the videos lately and just all the new subscribers that we've got. We really appreciate it. We appreciate you guys being a part of this, and we want to grow this community, goo this community. That's stupid. We want to grow this community into something really fun. So please, guys, make sure that you are commenting, liking, and subscribing. And that will really help us out. We really seriously do appreciate it. But you can also find us not only just here on YouTube, but on Instagram as well, and on TikTok at The Canon Collector. Our short form videos are coming back in a very big way, and we have a bunch of new plans that we can't wait to get rolling out over the next few weeks. So please, guys, make sure to stay tuned to everything we're doing here at The Canon Collector. Now, guys, we will see you next week for another Bad Batch reaction, and we will be doing a bunch of other things on the channel, so make sure to keep your eye out for all of the other fun stuff coming out this week. As always, guys, may the spires keep you, and may the Force be with you. See you guys next week.